Radio are presented by Progressive Insurance and joined now by Dan Orlovsky, ESPN football analyst. Monday morning, Dan usually drops some kind of sports take bomb on a Monday morning. He's going to be here any minute. Hey, guys, Mahomes and Kelsey, are going to challenge Brady and Gronk as the greatest quarterback tight end combination of all time, right? Like take that level quarterback, that level tight end, when everyone's in the conversation for the best who ever did it. But I think back to that Chiefs quartet when they had Kareem Hunt and Tyreek Hill. I think that's the best quartet of all time. You know, people talk about triplets or quadruplets. It's the best quad. If you had to check each box, quarterback, tight end, wide receiver, running back, Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Kareem Hunt. Tell me any team that's ever checked all four of those boxes at that level at the same time in their primes.
Well, I mean, I could just go if you really. I mean, it's different.
We'll go to the Niners.
You can go to the Niners, but I'm gonna just go right to the Dallas Cowboys. I'm gonna go right to Dallas.
Who's the tight end?
Novacek.
Yeah, but okay, who's better, Novacek or
yeah,
Travis Kelce?
but who's better, Emmitt Smith or Kareem Hunt?
Emmitt Smith got Kareem Hunt. Tyreek Hill and T.O. very different style.
No, not T.O., Michael Irvin.
I meant Michael Irvin.
The playmaker. Yeah, it was different. It's different.
Very different style.
Yeah, it's different styles.
Mahomes big time over Aikman. Aikman was great, but different.
Here's what I'm going to say. Heart and soul of the playmaker?
Yeah.
If playmaker ain't on that team, it's a different.
The best player on the team.
It's different.
Dan Orlovsky, ESPN football analyst. You want to jump in on this conversation here? You have any?
I can't imagine he said T.O.
Because that was the next great wide receiver.
It's the great. Yeah. What is it? It's not quadruplets. When you said five guys?
Triplets.
No.
The greatest triplets or quads?
The greatest quadruplets ever.
The Rams with Kurt Warner.
Okay.
I mean, it was Kurt.
Not
Marshall.
nearly as good as Mahomes. Mahomes better than Kurt by like a bit, and Kurt was great, but Mahomes better. Go ahead. Who else?
I mean, Kurt's in the friggin' Hall of Fame.
No question, but Mahomes best who ever did it.
Yeah, so.
All right, so.
I mean, we're talking about Kurt like it's me.
I love Kurt Warner.
Not even close.
Kurt Warner
not
was
even close.
Kurt Warner, Super Bowl champ, MVP, among the all-time greats. It's different.
It's one team, man. I gave it to you. It's the Dallas Cowboys. And I dare you say Aikman. Aikman's in the Hall of Fame.
No question, but Mahomes is better than Warner, Aikman, and all these guys.
Brady, Gronk, Randy.
Yep. Oh, that's a good one because Randy was there for that.
But they didn't have a running back.
Yeah,
right?
No, they didn't have a running back.
Well, Brady, Gronk, losses a lot though, and whoever was running the ball, in other words. But I mean, like where each guy checks a box where you go, that looks a little different.
And the Dallas Cowboys won 3 Super Bowls, man. I know it burns you up and it hurts your heart because it's Dallas, but you can't tell me.
San Francisco.
That's what I brought up.
San Francisco had Brett Jones,
but like
Steve Young or Montana, Jerry Rice. And either Ricky Waters or Roger Craig.
Yeah, the Rams didn't have a freak at tight end.
And the Chiefs won a Super Bowl. And who knows how many more they're going to win. But with that,
Max,
with those quadruples,
I just gave you a team that won 3 Super Bowls.
With Deion Sanders.
With 3 Hall of Famers on the offense.
Hold on, guys. I want to get, Dan, I want to get your thoughts on the game last night by Patrick Mahomes and the last minute and a half, your overall assessment.
He's a Grim Reaper, man. I mean, that's what makes him so special is the reality. If he has the ball with any remote chance of that game still being an option win-wise, they're going to get it done. Make it interesting, but when you know, there's a difference between believing and knowing, and everyone knows what the outcome is going to be with Patrick. I also think one of the more fascinating things that's happened with Kansas City this year in general is how much they have become a multiple tight end team, which raves about Andy Reid's creativity. So many of those big plays last night were out of 13 personnel, 1 back, 3 tight end. Also, third downs in the second half. Patrick was just special. No one frustrates me more offensively on third down than the Los Angeles Chargers. I'll tell you that. So I've never seen a good team miss more 3rd and 1s in my life than the Chargers. So, but Patrick, the Grim Reaper, man.
Yeah, no, I was with my son sitting down last night, Dan, and once the Chargers went ahead and scored, it was about a minute and some change left. I told him, I said, he was like, oh, they're going to lose. I said, boy, you don't know football because that dude right there, he get ready to go down and score.
It's over, man.
Hey, so, Dan, the reason I bring up historical stuff with this Chiefs team is because they're Mahomes that kind of transcendent talent. I think about everyone who ever played quarterback. like Tom Brady had this level of team success early, but he didn't have this level of personal success early. And Dan Marino had some kind of comparable personal success early, but not team success. Given both things, we're now deep into year 5 of Mahomes as a starter. He's having by far the greatest start to any NFL quarterback's career, right? Like
Sure.
he is in a class by himself all time.
There's a reason why 3 years ago, everyone was saying he's going to be the greatest that ever played. He's the most talented or the most gifted that we'd ever seen play. But this is where the perfect storm has happened. We often forget that Kansas City was a playoff team before they drafted Patrick. Then they draft Patrick because they went up in the draft to get him. And then they sat him for a year behind a guy that is a veteran player that had to do it mentally because physically he wasn't off the charts. So he got to sit and watch a guy do it. And then they plugged and placed him into a playoff caliber football team. And then they had immediate success while also continuing to draft well. When you have an organization that consistently drafts well, sometimes they're going to miss, but consistently drafts well, you put a talented player at the most important position on an already talented roster.
Coach.
And a Hall of Fame coach. This is how you build consistent success in the league. It ain't going anywhere for Kansas City.
Dan, do you think that based on what you saw yesterday from the Dallas Cowboys against the Minnesota Vikings, a team that went into Buffalo and stole a win, but they're sitting at 9-1, can't complain about the record, top of the division. Do you think the Dallas Cowboys, if in fact they don't win the division, can go on the road and be a Super Bowl team?
Yeah, Key. When Dallas plays like that yesterday, they're the best team to beat. They're the team to beat in the NFC. When they play like that. Can they? Will they consistently do that? Like, can they do that for 4 games in a row? And, dude, I've said all year, Key, the most reliable and/or best play in all the NFL is the Dallas defense when they know you're throwing the football. It's over. It's over. You have no shot. So that showed up again yesterday on the road versus Minnesota. I think that what I liked out of their offense yesterday, which I hadn't seen a ton this year, maybe it was the injury with Dak, they gave him full control at the line of scrimmage. We hadn't seen a lot of that offense this year. That's become a strength of Dak's. Not only get us out of bad, but get us into really good. Tony's obviously explosive. But if they play to that style, yeah, they could beat Philadelphia. They could beat San Francisco. So I don't think the Cowboys are a team that need home field advantage. But if they play that way, man, they're tough to beat.
They are tough to beat indeed. We asked this earlier. More impressive win. Minnesota, who was 8-1, but wasn't making you believe they were a juggernaut, really. They were winning a lot of close games. Cowboys destroy them 40-3. Or what the Chiefs just did to the Chargers, who got Keenan Allen back, who suddenly started to look healthy, who you look down, you go, wait a minute, they got 5 wins. Wait a second. Have Justin Herbert, who's a very differently talented quarterback than Kirk Cousins. The Chiefs coming back on them the way they did. Which is more impressive to you?
Oh, Kansas City. I mean, Kansas City also did it without their top 2 receivers. So one team got their top receivers back and Mike went out, and one team was without their top receivers. And if you're the chart, I called that game this weekend a must-win for Los Angeles. Like, you had to win the game. You can't fall 5-5 and 0-2 to Kansas City. And the way that Kansas City did it, it's just demoralizing, right? If you're the Chargers and everybody else in the AFC.
That is the great
Sean Payton watches on. Sean Payton watches on.
ESPN football analyst. Thank you, Dan, as always. We were talking about Travis Kelce and the Chiefs offense. Who's the best offensive weapon, period, who's not a quarterback in the NFL? Keyshawn, J. Willimax, ESPN Radio. Keyshawn, J.